for joining May 2023 member orientation webinar. We are so excited to have you. We know that it's Friday and you're spending your lunchtime with us, so we appreciate your time and for being here. I already seen some interaction in the chat box. A lot of you are joining us from LA. Jennifer is joining us from Patterson, California. We have people from San Diego, Riverside, Long Beach. I'm joining you from the Bay Area, in the East Bay, and I think I see someone also in the East Bay Area, which is awesome. I'm new to the Bay Area, so I'm still getting familiar with all the cities around here. So I'm glad to be here. I'm Elisa Tapia, and I'm the membership coordinator here at PIHRA. And again, I want to thank you for spending the next 60 minutes with us. I have Lily, who is also part of the membership team, and she's going to introduce herself in a moment. But between the two of us, we're going to go ahead and monitor the chat box and just make the most out of this this time that we have here with you. Just a few housekeeping items before we get started. I want to mention that these slides are going to be sent out to you at the end of the webinar with an email and also a few links so that you can have them handy and ready when you need them in the future. So let's get started. And I already see that a few of you are sharing your LinkedIn links. So that's also something I wanted to highlight. Feel free to connect with each other while we are here together. I think we're going to have a pretty big group. I see that right now we have around 25. But yes, connect with each other, share your LinkedIn accounts, and connect. So today's agenda, I want to do my best to make this webinar interactive as possible. So for the next 60 or so minutes together, I want to focus on your needs and make sure that you get the best out of this time that we have together. So to begin, I want to welcome you and give you a general update about PIHRA, and then I'm going to do a poll. We're going to ask you what information you want to take away from this webinar today. And then I'm going to introduce you to the PIHRA membership team and a few key players here at PIHRA. And then I will give you a brief overview about who PIHRA is and our membership, demographics, who our members are, talk about our member benefits too, and then some great opportunities, professional development opportunities and webinars coming up. And then we're going to just go ahead and get started. Feel free to type in your questions in the chat box, like I mentioned in the beginning, and Lily and I will do our best to answer them. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next slide. So a quick general update about PIHRA. As many of you know, COVID hit and it also impacted our organization. PIHRA had to shift quickly once the pandemic hit. We went totally virtual. All of our chapters and conferences and programs were all virtually streamed. And so since then, PIHRA chapters and communities have started to meet again in person in 2021 of June. And since then, chapters are now meeting monthly over the course of, maybe some chapters are meeting every other month, some are meeting every month, and then others are still hosting virtual webinars and meetings. So the best way to keep yourself updated on any programs and events and webinars is to visit the PIHRA calendar, which is found at pihra.org/calendar. Because of the pandemic and some of our chapters had to relocate their chapter locations and meetings, the website may be outdated, but we are continuing to update that. So the calendar has the most up-to-date and accurate information. And again, these slides are going to be sent to you, so you'll have access to this link when the webinar is over. And that's where we are. We're now meeting in person, and also streaming our conferences and events. Like last week, we had our conference, we streamed it, and also we were in person. And that's how we're going to continue to move forward. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide. And I am seeing so many great interactions in the chat box, but I don't want to get distracted. So if there are any, if there's anything in the chat that I need to maybe pause for, Lily, let me know. But before we get started and before we bombard you with information, I want to know what information you are seeking today. Lily, can you help me launch the poll if you can? Great. In front of your screen, you should see the poll questions. Go ahead and tell me what information you are interested in learning more about today, and I will do my best to cover that information. That way you come out of this webinar not just obtaining more information, but learning more and just getting ready to benefit with your membership. So I'm going to give it a few minutes, maybe about a minute or two, so that everyone has an opportunity to answer. I'm going to make myself a note, and I think right now the top answer is PIHRA seminars and conferences, PIHRA benefits. I'm going to give it another maybe 15-20 seconds, and then we'll end the poll.
There's 3 people who haven't voted. Maybe it's me and you or 2 of them, Elisette. So if you haven't voted, it's your last chance. Yeah, I see seminars and conferences are the highest, and then we have benefits, and then PIHRA SHRM, and HR certification, monthly meetings. Got it. A lot of that we're going to cover. So
yeah,
I'll go ahead and end the poll if that's okay.
Yes, let's end the poll.
I'll share the results. So that's
great. So the top one is seminars and conferences.
I could help you talk about that. And we could talk a little bit about the conference last time, which I believe is on demand. So I'll stop sharing and go look for that. But if it's not right now, it will be available.
Yes. Thank you, Lily. I am going to go ahead and move on to the next slide, which is introduction to the membership team and some key players here at PIHRA. So as I mentioned in the beginning, I am Elisette Tapian. I am the membership coordinator at PIHRA. I've been with PIHRA for, I think, 6 years now. I think I'm going on my 7th year this fall. And I have a background in public relations and strategic communications. And I think what I love most about PIHRA and working here is helping our community, you as our members and our HR professionals, thrive in your career. So we're a very dedicated team helping you to grow and achieve your goals in your careers. And Lily chimed in a few minutes ago, so I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then I'll introduce Matt next.
Hi, everybody. It's great to see all your faces. Welcome, welcome. My name is Lily Arguello. Liliana is my full name, and I'm the Director of Membership. And I am so happy to be here with my partner here, Elisette. And by the way, it's Elisette's birthday tomorrow, so just have to. This was her birthday present. She's going to lead the orientation today. It's my anniversary here. I think tomorrow or today, or something like that. And I've been here since 2014. I was a PIHRA member before I ever dreamed of being on staff. And I am passionate about helping organizations and people succeed through strategic planning, You can be a strategic planner with your own career. So I encourage you to ask us questions today. And you can contact me at any time. I'm really good with email. That's the best way to get a hold of me. But my phone number is also here. Elisette is likely the first person you're going to call if you call the main line or if you call us. She's here early in the morning till right around 4:30 in the afternoon. And, I cover everything else. And it's my commitment to you and to our members and stakeholders that we try to return your email or call within 24 hours of a working week. And I think we do a really good job of that. So don't hesitate to reach out. Don't want you to sit there and being frustrated about not being able to get in or not getting into the event you like or having questions. Feel free to email us. We'll help you in whatever we can. So welcome, and I'll hand this back over to you, Elisette.
Thank you, Lily. And I'm going to also introduce Matt. Matt is our liaison on the PIHRA board, and we are voluntarily led. So we have PIHRA staff here at the office, but we are also volunteer led. And he is one of our volunteer leaders. He represents you and he represents our members and also the membership department, along with the volunteer leaders, the membership chairs in their roles. And Matt, in his professional career, he's an insurance broker, I believe, and he's also known as a great connector. So if you want to connect with someone, if you want, maybe he can connect you with someone that can help you find your next job. He's very accessible. And so feel free to say hi to him at our PIHRA meetings, our conferences. He's always around and very likely to chat with you and connect you with someone if you're interested in that. So that's the PIHRA membership team. The next team that I want to introduce, well, I think that's in the next slide. But before that, I want to give you a brief overview of PIHRA and explain to you what our PIHRA mission is here. So as you can see, PIHRA's mission is to engage, elevate, and serve the California HR community through innovative programming, professional development, and networking opportunities. And this is where we like to highlight that PIHRA was established in 1944, and that was actually before SHRM. And I think SHRM was established, was it 4 years later, 2 or 3?
1947 or 1948? Yes,
okay.
in
so
the
like
Midwest.
4 years later.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the PIHRA was established in downtown LA by a group of industrial relations professionals. I think that's what they would call themselves before they were ever calling themselves HR professionals. And they got together because they wanted to find resources and elevate their profession. And so PIHRA was established in LA, and now PIHRA is the largest SHRM affiliate chapter in the world. And like I mentioned, we have 9 staff team members that help run the association. And we also have over 200 volunteer leaders that also contribute to the success of PIHRA and what we offer. And with that being said, I'm going to introduce you to a few key players here at PIHRA. Tara is the president of the board of directors. Like I mentioned, we are volunteer-led. Tara is a volunteer leader. She represents the board, and she has so much experience in HR management and organizational development. If you ever see her at a conference or at any PIHRA events, go and say hi to her. She's very accessible too. She loves our members. She loves being part of the PIHRA community. And I think recently she started a new position at Amobi, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
She's now with she's the chief people officer with Enthusiast Gaming now.
Okay, Enthusiast Gaming. Oh, that's right. I was looking at last month's orientation deck, and she just started this position. So she's very accessible, like I mentioned. She's very successful and just loves PIHRA and loves to give back. And Rafael Rivera, he is the Chief Executive Officer here at PIHRA. He's our CEO, he's our boss, and he leads a great team here at PIHRA. Like I mentioned, I think now we are 9 staff team members. During the pandemic, we had so many changes. A lot of our team members left and started greater things in their careers, and I think we were down to like 5 or 6 of us, and now we have a new marketing team, and a new director of programs, and we're continuing to grow. And just a brief overview of Rafael. He has extensive experience in strategic operation and management and administration, and we really credit him for the success of PIHRA and how much he has grown. The conference, before the conference used to be called the PIHRA Conference, and now it's rebranded and grown to be the California HR Conference. And I believe it's the largest HR conference in the West Coast. So, Rafael is great, and yeah, we're just excited that he's leading a great team and a great association. So if you ever also see him, he's very accessible. Feel free to come by and say hi to him. He loves to meet our members.
And he's also reachable on LinkedIn. So if any of you want to give him feedback about this orientation, telling him how great me and Elisette are, you can send him a note on LinkedIn, or just ask him if you want something different from PIHRA. He's always listening on LinkedIn. So just look him up, Rafael Rivera.
Yeah, that's true. He's very accessible on LinkedIn. So connect with them on LinkedIn, say hi, and give them your feedback on what you'd like to see more of out of PIHRA. And now that I've given you an overview of PIHRA, who our key players are, you may be wondering, what kind of members does PIHRA consist of, and who will I be seeing at a conference or events when I attend? And this slide breaks it down in a few categories. So the majority of our to get started, we have over 3,500 members here at PIHRA. The biggest demographic here at PIHRA, the types of roles that our members are involved in are in the human resources business partner, HR managers, or generalists. That's our sweet spot. That's mostly where our members are in their careers, and then followed by directors and above. That's about 28%. And then these members represent over 2,300 companies, and those companies are in the industries of nonprofit. The biggest one is manufacturing, healthcare, and consulting. And I know a few of you wanted to learn about HR certification, and we'll talk more about that later on. But 40% of our members are HR certified. We have so many great opportunities here at PIHRA that will help you get certified and provide you with the resources that you need to excel in getting certified. And I know Lily recently got certified, so I'm sure she's going to share her experience. But I'm glad that you want to know more about getting certified, because that's really going to impact your career and allow you to grow. So these are the individuals that you're going to meet. You're going to probably ask for advice, or how to kickstart your career, and maybe you'll meet your next boss here. They may hire you. So this is our membership base, and with that, I'm going to talk about our PIHRA footprint. But before I do that, I just want to check the chat box. Is there anything I think I missed?
No one. If you guys, I don't see any questions unless I missed them, but I know people are eager to hear about the chapters and monthly meetings, at least that. So
yeah.
If anyone has specific questions, either put it in the chat box, or let us know if you'd like to unmute. We can probably take a couple of direct questions.
Yeah, of course. So just to get us started, our footprint is in Southern California. we are we meet as far north as Antelope Valley. I don't know if you can see my cursor on the screen. And then we also meet at Santa Clarita is also another chapter that meets up north. And then Ventura County is another chapter. We go as far south as Temecula Valley. South OC is one of our largest chapters. And then Coachella Valley that meets out of, I think, Palm Springs, Palm Desert. We also go west of LA. West LA, they usually meet out of the, I think, Brentwood, West LA area. South Bay, they meet out of Torrance, I think Torrance, Hawthorne, El Segundo area. And then Long Beach, they usually meet City of Long Beach, Seal Beach. And then we also have our chapters in Pasadena. They meet out of Pasadena. Inland Valley, I think Inland Valley is right now in transition, trying to find a location, but they've been meeting out of, the Upland, Rancho Cucamonga area, and then Riverside. So, these are where our chapters are located. We also have a chapter in San Diego. It's a community that is also now continuing to grow. And after the pandemic, the San Diego community, they stopped meeting. And so I think now that they have the momentum, they're going to start hopefully starting to meet in person again. So as a PIHRA member, you have the ability to attend any chapter meetings at any location. You do have a home chapter. When you join PIHRA, you are asked to select one primary chapter as your home chapter, but you can attend any chapter meetings at any location. And I believe also as a PIHRA member, you have the ability to attend webinars for free. That could be webinars at the home office or webinars that our chapters are hosting. You want to add something, Lily?
Yes, I just see a couple of questions here.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, as a result of the pandemic, some of our chapters are having trouble finding venues or kind of regrouping. So San Diego is one of them. There's another, Inland Valley, they are starting to meet, but it's more quarterly meetings. Chapters such as Burbank, Glendale, or Coachella Valley or Ventura County, they're meeting every month. So North OC is meeting every month. They may not meet at the same location. If you're familiar with how our chapters worked pre-pandemic, they would meet in the same place on the same day of the month, every month. That's just not the case anymore. People are, having different constraints on their time. So, for example, North OC decided to do a social in June. We had our conference this month. We're still recovering from the 3-day conference, and so many of our chapters went dark. There was a question about. Let's see, Burbank, Glendale. You as a member, you can attend as many chapter meetings as you want. There is a separate fee because there is, the venue. We have to pay for the venue. There's a meal component. So usually they serve breakfast or lunch. And then there's also professional development that happens at the chapter meetings, and you can receive recertification credit. So yeah, and as Elisette said, you will select your preferred chapter, but you can go to any PIHRA chapter meeting. I just suggest registering for it in advance, so that they know that you're a member. They may not, so your preferred chapter will have you, if you're a member, on their roster. If you're not a member, then you would just pay the non-member price. So you can go check out one of the chapter meetings before even becoming a member, just to see if it's something that you're interested in and that you want to commit to. So I think I covered a lot. There was one, where is North OC meeting regularly? So again, I just said, they're not meeting regularly like they did pre-pandemic. But when they do meet, I'll find the location. It's in Anaheim Hills. but let me double check that. For example, next month they are not having their regular meeting. So let me repeat again, our chapters are not doing the regular thing as they did before. So the best place to find where they're meeting is at the calendar. And I just put that URL in the chat box. So that's really where I would double check and register in advance just to make sure that they're at the location where you think they are. So I don't want to, so I just want to respond to Lindsay. They don't really have a regular meeting space anymore. I know it sounds interesting, but they meet at a hotel maybe 1 month. I think they met at a brewery for lunch the next month. And then the North OC, and this is all North OC in this example, they're meeting, having a social, which sounds kind of fun, at the House of Blues Foundation room on, I think it's June 8th. So you're going to see at the end of the presentation a long list, because I want you all to commit to going to a PIHRA event. At least go to one professional development or networking event per quarter. Set a goal for yourself, because it's so important for you to keep that up. And honestly, we do webinars, and we do virtual learning, but there's nothing like that in-person connection that you build either with other HR professionals or with facilitators and instructors. So I think it's covered most of the questions. Let's see.
Yeah, I think so. Those are all good questions, so keep asking. Thank you, Lily, for letting me know. I did miss some questions. Another thing before I move on that I want to add is that each chapter is comprised of a board, and they're all volunteers. So each chapter has their own board. I know there weren't a lot of people that wanted to know about volunteering this time, but if you are interested in volunteering at any of these chapters, attend these meetings. Let our volunteer leaders know that you're interested in getting more involved. They're always open to new faces and new members, and they just want to continue to grow. So that's another thing I wanted to add, that they are volunteer led and they have their own board. So you can start by volunteering at one of these chapters before. So I think that covers all our chapters and questions about the chapters. I also want to talk to you guys about our specialty groups. We have three specialty groups. The PIHRA San Diego community is a specialty group because they are a community, but aside from that, the PIHRA Foundation is another specialty group here at PIHRA. The PIHRA Foundation is actually a 401c3 nonprofit corporation that raises funds and scholarships for our HR community. So as part of their commitment and their dedication to the HR community, they raise grants and scholarships. They usually range between $500 and $3,000 every year to support HR professionals in the HR certification exam, or if you're a student and you're interested in taking a course, they will cover that. So I believe this spring in 2023, they didn't have anything, but I think they are starting to revamp again because their leadership and their volunteers also went through a transition, and I think they are going to have something up in the fall. I think I spoke to one of our volunteer leaders at the PIHRA Foundation at the conference, and I think she told me that they are going to have something up hopefully by the fall. So if you're a student, if you're new in HR, or if you're interested in getting HR certified but you don't have the monies to cover it, apply for the foundation scholarship. You can also visit the PIHRA Foundation microsite at pihra.org/foundation to connect with them, email them, or just continue to get up-to-date information on that. The second specialty group that we have here at PIHRA is the Emerging Leaders Group. They were formerly called the Young Professionals, but we changed that name because we want to be more inclusive. I know that not all young professionals are new in HR. There's probably people that they have years in the workplace, but they're new into their HR career. This group is for you. So no matter how old you are, PIHRA Emerging Leaders exists to equip you and engage you and encourage you to grow in your career. And I believe that this committee is also still regrouping. After the pandemic, there's been a lot of changes, but I'm looking forward to seeing more activities in this group. I know that they are revamping and they do plan on meeting again. So, oops, sorry about that. I accidentally changed the slide. But one more thing I want to mention while we're here is that student members receive an even better discount. If you are a student and you want to attend these meetings or get connected, you receive a deeper discount if you are a student. So I see that there's a lot of activity in the chat. Should I stop for a bit?
Keep going. No, I think you're fine.
Okay.
They're just talking about going to PIHRA South OC, so I think we're fine.
Great. I know I did see someone saying, hey, are you going to be at a meeting? So I'm so glad that you're asking and just seeing who can meet you there at the meeting. So, okay, now that I covered specialty groups, chapters, and who PIHRA is, I want to talk to you about the benefits that you receive with your PIHRA membership. And here at PIHRA, we can't emphasize enough how important it is to build your network here. The networking opportunities are priceless. You receive more than $12,000 in your $175, $150 membership fee. For example, you receive access to over 3,500 members here at PIHRA that you can connect with. That's priceless. For example, there's this statistics out there that 80% of job openings are not advertised. So here at PIHRA, you can meet people who are willing to share information with you and who may have a lead to a good internship or volunteer opportunity or a good job that will elevate your career. So the professional development here, the professional networking here is priceless. And that's one of the things that we love here at PIHRA is that you have access to a community of local HR professionals. Also, the professional development opportunities here at PIHRA, for example, we briefly talked about the conference that we had last week. You have access to attend those types of programs and at the member rate, which is always at a discounted rate. We also have the California Employment Law Update, which used to be called the Legal Update, coming up in October. Those are the California Employment Law Update has been known to be one of our top conferences here at PIHRA. So you get to increase your earning power and become an expert because we at PIHRA have the resources that you need to continue to grow in those areas. So, we have conferences, we have workshops and meetings that will get you acquainted with so many educational opportunities, and also classes that you can take to prepare you for the HR certification exam if you are interested in that. On a yearly basis, we have prep classes for the SHRM CP, SHRM SCP, the PHR, SPHR. So you can find those at the PIHRA calendar as well. And the next benefit that you receive here at PIHRA is the PIHRA Workplace. It's powered through Mineral. They used to be called Think HR. And if you haven't already accessed it, you may have, if you joined between late April and early May, you may not have access to this yet. If you do want access right away, let me or Lily know. We will get you access to you right away after the webinar. But if it's not urgent, we are going to get you access later today or early tomorrow. So let me give you a brief overview of the PIHRA Workplace. The PIHRA Workplace is basically a a compliance center that has hundreds of forms. It has an employee handbook builder. It has a workplace harassment prevention forms and samples. Plus, you have also access to PIHRA Learn, which is new this year. You have this feature, which is basically an LMS, a learning management system, that is available to you if you are interested in training your employees. You have access to over 200 online courses to train your workforce. So that's included in your membership, and also the PIHRA Live feature, which is a unlimited calls to certified HR professionals. So I know that in HR, there's probably confidential questions or things that you can't share directly with your colleagues at your companies. PIHRA Live is the resource that we always direct our members to. They are there to give you advice and direct you to find, for example, policies that will help you in your position. So they are not here to provide legal advice, but they are here to provide you with any HR advice that you may need. I'm going to go back to the PIHRA Learn. Do you want to add something, Lily?
Yes, I wanted, because we didn't touch on the PIHRA and SHRM relationship too much, so just wanted to stop there for a second. And we will be providing, I think, Maria and Rubinder, access to the PIHRA workplace as soon as we can today, or early next week. We do ask people to allow a little bit of time because that is through a partner site. But back to the PIHRA SHRM. So PIHRA is the largest SHRM affiliate in the United States. However, we're two separate entities. So there's a PIHRA membership and then there's a SHRM membership, which is separate. And we complement each other. I think what SHRM does really well is they provide access to a robust website that is easy access to even a lot of the same things that you get here at the PIHRA workplace. They also have fantastic white papers on anything that's cutting edge in HR. So it is more expensive, but it's because they really have the capital to invest in their website, and they have many more employees than we do. What we offer is also the ongoing, consistent, affordable professional development through the monthly meetings and our chapters. So we have 17 chapters, and I think Douglas asked the question. There is not an additional fee to join a chapter, but there is a fee to attend the meetings. So you select your preferred chapter, but you can go to any PIHRA chapter meeting. There's just always going to be a fee. As a member, you get a discounted rate. Non-members still can attend, but they pay the non-member rate. So I hope that is cleared up.
Yeah, it's important.
Yes, so Judith's just talking about SHRM and PIHRA. The PIHRA student membership, which I believe Alisa talked about, it's $35, and we do validate there's some eligibility requirements. So for example, you need to be a full-time student and you need to work less than 20 hours a week. So we do verify that, but it is a little less expensive. We also have 12 student chapters. And I'll let you continue with Learn, but let's quickly go to, because I think a lot of people wanted to hear about the professional development opportunities we offer.
Yes, I see there's a question from Melissa from the SHRM certification prep classes.
Yeah, let's talk about that when we get there. So continue to talk about Learn, because I don't think you talked about that yet.
Yeah, I just wanted to add here that the PIHRA Learn feature in the PIHRA workplace includes workplace harassment prevention training courses. So that will take your employee base to the next step if you are interested in training your employees. Each course includes interactive state mandated topics to ensure compliance, as well as diversity, equity, inclusion training. to help you build a strong, inclusive culture in your workplace. So those are just some of the things I wanted to add. If you want to learn more about PIHRA Learn, since it is something new, we did have it before, but it's something new this year. If you want to learn more about that, email me or Lily or call us, and we can talk more about that with you. I'm going to move to the next slide because I know that there's still a lot to cover, and I want to be sensitive to your time. We here at PIHRA are volunteer-led, like I mentioned. So if you are interested in volunteering, for example, if you're interested in volunteering, not just at the chapter level, like I mentioned with our 17 chapters, you maybe perhaps you want to volunteer at our conference for a day. If you want to volunteer at the California Employment Update, that's also something that you can do here at PIHRA. It's a great opportunity for you to get connected with our community and our membership base, and it's a great way to meet new people. So if you are interested in volunteering, scan this QR code or go to pihra.org/volunteer and read through the opportunities and get connected. We can definitely connect you to a volunteer leader if you are interested in getting more acquainted with PIHRA. I think that's all I want to say here. Do you want to add anything here volunteering? Okay, Lily, let's continue because there's some other things we want to mention here. So a lot of you want to learn more about seminars and conferences, and well, this is where we're going to dive a little bit deeper. So, given that we've discussed all these things, now professional development is even more important, especially in person. I think for me personally, attending a virtual meeting, you cannot get the same benefit as if you attend in person. So some of our educational opportunities here at PIHRA are, yes, through virtual learning, but also through our chapter meetings, through the PIHRA conference, and also the employment law update happening in October, as well as. I want to talk
a little bit about this because I think many of you had questions about the conference, and so we just finished the conference. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to put it in the chat. The California HR conference is on May 8th through 11th. And the in-person was just stunning. We had, I think it was over 30 learning sessions throughout 2.5 days. But we won't stop offering it virtually. The virtual offering may not be as robust as the in-person. We unfortunately aren't able to stream everything live. We are offering the conference on demand, and that will be available for purchase by next week. So I'm writing that be available by next week on the calendar, on the PIHRA calendar. So I refer everyone to the PIHRA calendar because that's just where you're going to find the latest and greatest and most recent information about what we're offering with respect to conferences and our monthly meetings. We also, another big thing here is the California Employment Law Conference. And I want to pause here for a second because, a large percentage of you ask questions about our conferences. So is there anything specific that you would like to know? I'm going to put the link, Doug, I got your question. If Elisa, you want to give him the link to the volunteer page, that'd be great. Mm-hmm. Oh, did you already do that? Yeah. So any questions about conferences or seminars?
Feel free to unmute.
Yeah, and in the chat, I put some save the dates. So I think Elisa already mentioned we do the California Employment Law Update, which we're very well known for our legal updates. We're going to be in Burbank in October, on October 20. Actually, I think we're going to be in Anaheim in October 24th, but it might be reversed, but all that registration is going to go live by next week. So I think we're going to be in Anaheim on October 24th and in Burbank on October 26th. But that's just something that I thought. I don't see any more questions about seminars, so I'm going to let you continue, Elisette.
Yes, I just thought about something that I missed sharing in the benefits that you have here at PIHRA. We just launched a new platform called PIHRA Connect, where you can connect with your members, with everyone here at PIHRA. You have access to that. I like to describe it if as if LinkedIn and Facebook got married and had a baby, because the interface is almost like a Facebook and LinkedIn. There's a feed only for a general feed where you can see everyone posting and sharing links and announcements and things like that. But there's also private groups that you can connect and join with. Like, for example, we have groups based on location and chapters. You can connect that way to those groups and share advice, resources with other professionals here at PIHRA. So I'm going to include a link to the PIHRA Connect in the follow-up email so that you have that if you have more questions. We have a question in the chat box. Judith asked, are there any mentorship groups within Connect? I don't think there is right now, right, Lily? We don't have any mentorship programs at the moment.
Fortunately, we don't have a formalized mentor program. It's all kind of through organic networking. And I suggest if you are looking for someone to what I call add to your speed dial list or your HR Fab 5 or your HR Board of Advisors, go to meetings, go to a lot of meetings, and especially volunteer, because that's where you're going to meet people that you build trust with, that get to know you, and you can start asking questions. But right now we don't have a mentor program. Great idea, though.
Yeah. We also briefly covered that as a PIHRA member, you receive the discounted rates to attend meetings and conferences and that sort. So this is just a slide to highlight that. As a PIHRA member, you attend the California HR conference and the employment law update at a discounted rate. So I love what Lily mentions when she says attend chapter meetings, get connected with your community at least once a quarter, because I think that's doable. And that's a great way to get started, because once you start getting connected, once you start feeling familiar with your chapter, you start getting more comfortable and you start meeting people, you're going to want to continue to go even more. So you save a minimum of $10 by doing that as a PIHRA member. I'm going to move on to the next slide. And this slide is about webinars and also another educational program. Another great resource that we have as a professional development. You have access to attend webinars for free. And that's also new here at PIHRA in 2023, because your professional development is important to us. And so this is why we have free webinars for you. I'm going to continue to the next slide because a few had questions about getting HR certified. This is where we can answer any questions. If you have questions about any specific certification or course, feel free to unmute or ask it in the chat box. Lily has her certification, her SHRM certification, and she can also highlight some things here for you if she can. Do you want to highlight some things here, Lily?
Yes. So I think there was a question a while back in the chat about whether the SHRM certification is better than the HRCI certification. And that is an interesting question, but not an easy question. There are good things about both organizations. I recently got my in both certifications. I did get my SHRM SCP. Got it in 2021. So I started studying during the pandemic. But but that was right for me. I love the SHRM learning system, and I love the books that I received, and I studied, and I read every little page of it. I keep them in my library as reference material. I believe that exam, which was developed in like between 2010 and 2015, it is a competency-based exam. So you're going to find a lot more situational / judgment questions on the SHRM exams than you would likely see on the HRCI exam. Now, the HRCI exam, especially on the West Coast, they're more widely known by employers. So it really depends. It's a very, the question is very unique to you. So usually I recommend that you speak to as many HR certified individuals as possible, because everyone's going to give you a nice tidbit of information. I also want to highlight that I got the SHRM SCP. I think that your earning power increases a bit more with the SHRM SCP. I also have an MBA and a background in organizational strategy, so that's why that fit for me. If you have a background in more kind of HR daily operations, maybe the SHRM CP or the PHR is more for you. One of the and HRCI and SHRM have equivalent, not exact, they don't equate exactly, but they have a similar certification. So the SHRM SCP is very similar to the SPHR, the Senior Professionals in HR certification through HRCI. But the one that I believe is very in demand, particularly in California, is a PHR California. So me personally, that would have been the second one I would have done if I was an HR practitioner. I am not an HR practitioner, and the PHR California is really dedicated to California law. So if you are someone who is interested in law or who does that on a daily basis, is very compliant oriented, I highly suggest doing the PHR California. So again, it's a very difficult question to answer. You're going to get different responses from different people, but I did want to comment on that. Let's see. The only other thing, and if I missed some questions that you had, this is a great time to unmute, because this is a very important topic. I am not a great test taker. So if you are a great test taker, then by all means, take a course. We offered some prep courses. I think Lisette went through the ones that we came up with, that we have coming up. And then study, do 3 months, take the exam. If you're not a great test taker, or you tend to kind of not read through everything, I encourage you to study. I am not a great test taker. I calculated that I studied over 150 hours for the exam because I do not want to fail it. And some people fail it the first time, and it costs money. So I read every inch of every book. I did sample questions. I created 2 different study groups that would hold each other accountable for taking quizzes online and reading every inch of the materials. It's really the only way I was able to do it. So I see a couple of questions. I started, let's see. Hi, yes, I believe we have another PHR class in fall 20. Okay, great. That's you. Christian, I'm starting an MA in leadership development. This falls directly after my BS in business. Is this equivalent in value to an MBA in the realms of HR? Christian, I think that we talked about this via email. Leadership, it's not equivalent because you are focused on leadership development, where MBA, it's really general business and you have a specialization. So with HR, for me, leadership development is really, if I think of you as a training and development person. So I would start talking to more training and development people, go to some ATD, Association of Training and Development meetings. They have a big, huge conference coming up soon. So that's my feedback to you. That it's not quite the same. It's not apples and apples. It's more like apples and oranges. Would it be worth studying for the SHRM SCP while studying for a master or attain work experience first? Get the work experience first. Work experience trumps everything because, you can know the concepts, but it's a challenge. I noticed that you have a PHR training course starting in May through June. Will there be more one later? Yes, I believe there's more later. I think in the fall. How many months prep is needed? 3 to 6 months should be enough for 2 to 4 hours per day with an active job. Yeah, Rubinder, everyone's different, and I do see your hand up, Doris. I'll be with you in a moment. Everyone's different. So I'm not able to study every day. That wasn't realistic for me. So I had a study group that kept me accountable. We studied one evening during the week and then Saturday morning. We're kind of running out of time here, right? But Doris, please unmute and so we can hear from you.
Yeah, I had a question about the PHR. If I'm a benefits broker, and I'm just curious, how long is the training? Will it be beneficial for me? Sometimes I do get a lot of questions from my clients about HRs. So I'm just curious about that.
So your first question is, how long is the training? So the prep course, correct? We have prep courses that are virtual. I think they go from 4 weeks to 6 weeks long. That is not enough. I don't believe that's enough preparation. You also need to, like I said, read everything that you receive from the books that you receive in your studying, and do a lot of flashcards and do a lot of sample questions. I think that the PHR, the SPHR is great for brokers. Many of the brokers that are on our volunteer boards, they get it because they want to understand the pain points of HR, and it also builds credibility for you. So hopefully that answers that question. Cool. All right. Let's keep going. Elisette. Let's move on.
Yeah, we're right at the end. The last thing I want to mention is all the PIHRA meetings that are coming up. So we have a list for you to choose from. Lily did a great job at consolidating them. So these are all our upcoming meetings for June, which is packed with events. So there are no excuses if you don't have a meeting to attend. There are so many. There's one coming up in South OC on June 7th. There's enough time for you to prepare at least. There's probably how many weeks left in May? Like a week and a half, probably 2 weeks until June. So now is the time to start planning. If you are in the South OC location, attend the South OC chapter. South Bay is meeting on June 8th. Their in-person meeting. Their topic is Conquer Your Stress and Adapt to Change. PIHRA Ventura County is also meeting. I don't know if there were any people in that location that are on the call, but they're also starting to meet again in person. North OC also has a summer mixer in the House of Blues. I know Lily mentioned that in the beginning. PIHRA Pasadena is having theirs. Gateway Cities, they meet out of the Cerritos area. So if you're in that location, go to the Gateway Cities in-person meeting on June 14. PIHRA Santa Clarita is also meeting. So there are so many meetings coming up. Please attend. Like Lily mentioned, try to make it a priority to at least attend one in-person meeting a quarter.
I can't emphasize that enough. I'm going to go. So I grew up in West Los Angeles, so I feel really connected. And even though I'm in between downtown LA and Long Beach, so I also go to the PIHRA Long Beach event, which I think they're having a lunch on June 15th. That's employment law update. So that's something you really need to be watching. But on June 22nd, the PIHRA West Los Angeles is going to be in Malibu. So anyone who wants to meet me there, I am taking a vacation day, just so you know, at least at that night, but I might go there anyway, because it's at the Rosenthal Winery. And also they're going to have a really great panel. So if you can join me there, that would be great. And then we do have a free webinar in June, at the end of June, regarding performance reviews. So that's free. So you guys have to sign up for that. But if you guys have any women, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions or want to be introduced to someone who's going to be at that meeting, just reach out to me and Elisette. Stay connected. It's so important. I know a lot of you may still be hesitant or may feel like you're too busy to connect with people in person. I get it. But as Elisette has been saying, there's nothing like that in-person connection with somebody. So there's still webinars, but please make it a goal for you to go to one of these events. There's plenty of them.
Yeah, and last thing, I know we're out of time. Connect with us online. We have a very interactive and big group on LinkedIn. Go ahead and join the group. Connect with our members. We also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and like I mentioned, PIHRA Connect, which we're going to add here next before we send the slides out. So thank you all so much for your time today. I appreciate your time. And we wish you all the best. Let us know if we can serve you in any way. Contact us after the webinar. If you have any trouble accessing anything, we will send you the slides after in the next hour or so. Thank you so much.
Have a great Friday and weekend, everyone. Thank you, Doris, for coming. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Doris. Thank you, everyone.